Behind the scenes, though, both knew how close things had come to spiraling out of control. It wasn't just about words or posts, it was about perception. The world had tried to pit them against each other because that's what audiences expected. Two strong women can't coexist without conflict, but they proved otherwise. They showed that respect could coexist with pride, that strength didn't require animosity, and that sometimes the greatest victories happen off camera, months later. During a podcast appearance, Remy was asked directly about the incident. She smiled faintly before responding. "I think people forget that behind the lights, we're still human. We feel, we hurt, we learn. That whole situation taught me something. Sometimes God uses chaos to remind you of your character." Claressa, in a separate interview weeks later, echoed that sentiment. Everything happens for a reason. Maybe that situation had to happen to remind both of us what real power looks like. It's not in who talks louder, but in who walks stronger. Their words, those separate, felt connected almost like two verses in the same song. Fans noticed. The tension had turned into respect, and respect into legacy. No one talked about the side chick anymore. No one mentioned betrayal or warning shots. The story had evolved into something deeper, a testament to resilience and growth. In the end, both Remy Ma and Claressa Shields walked away with their integrity intact. They didn't need validation or apologies. What they gained was something rarer, mutual recognition. In their own ways, they reminded the world that power isn't about dominating others. It's about mastering yourself. For Remy, that meant reclaiming her peace after years of defending her name. For Claressa, it meant realizing that her worth was never tied to anyone else's story. Together, though unintentionally, they created a modern parable, one that taught fans and critics, like that strength can be fierce without being destructive. And somewhere deep in that truth, Remy's warning still echoed not as a threat but as wisdom. "Don't play with respect," she once said, "because when it's gone, you'll wish you guarded it." Claressa had heard that message clearly, and in the quiet understanding that followed. Both women walked away knowing they had faced the storm and survived not as rivals, but as reminders that real power never needs to shout. If this story taught you anything, it's that silence can be louder than any argument, and respect is worth more than pride. In a world where everyone's quick to react, Remy Ma and Claressa Shields showed what real control looks like. It's easy to clap back, to post, to respond, but it takes real strength to walk away knowing your energy is too valuable to waste. That's the message. Protect your peace because not everyone deserves access to it. You can't stop rumors, but you can stop giving them life. You can't change what people say, but you can decide what you respond to. Whether you're in music, sports, or just trying to build your name, the truth is the same. Your legacy is built in moments of restraint, not reaction. So if you've ever been doubted, disrespected, or dragged into something that wasn't even yours to begin with, remember this story? Don't let chaos control your character. Let your work, your growth, and your results speak for you. Because real power doesn't scream, it moves. And when you move with purpose, nobody can shake your foundation. If you felt this, share it, talk about it, and remind someone else that strength isn't about how loud you get. It's about how solid you stand. Stay focused, stay real, and never let anyone make you forget who you are when the world tries to test you. Meanwhile, journalists started revisiting Tasha K's track record. Some of her previous exposes had turned out to be false, while others had been eerily accurate. She had faced lawsuits, bans, and public backlash, yet her audience kept growing. The controversy was her fuel. Tasha doesn't care about being liked, one media analyst said. She cares about being heard, and she's mastered how to turn scandal into a brand. That truth made the situation even more volatile, because even if Claressa proved her innocence, the damage was already being done in real time. But then something unexpected happened. A former coach of Claressa, someone she hadn't spoken to in years, broke their silence. In an exclusive interview with a sports journalist, they admitted there had been arguments, but denied the extreme claims. "Claressa's intense," he said. But that's why she's great. She demands perfection. That's not toxicity's drive. People mistake her passion for arrogance. I've seen her give everything to her team. So if folks left, maybe they couldn't handle her energy. The quote went viral, shifting the tone of the discussion. For the first time since the controversy started, Claressa had an ally speaking publicly. Still, the internet wasn't done feasting. Tasha K doubled down, teasing that she had one last piece of evidence that would end the conversation. She announced a special episode, hinting that it involved financial records and private communication between Claressa and a major promoter. Fans counted down the hours like it was a pay-per-view fight. Claressa, refusing to be blindsided again, went quiet. No statements, no lives, no posts, just silence. Her fans noticed, her haters celebrated, and the speculation hit fever pitch. When the episode finally aired, Tasha revealed what she called proof of a deal gone wrong. She showed a document that appeared to outline a failed sponsorship agreement involving Claressa's brand and a luxury fitness company. According to Tasha, Claressa had allegedly backed out at the last minute, causing a financial dispute that led to the fallout with several members of her management team. The document, though partially redacted, looked legitimate, but it wasn't enough to confirm any wrongdoing. Legal experts quickly weighed in online, saying the papers proved nothing more than a business disagreement. Still, the optics were terrible. The internet loves a fall from grace. And headlines like Claressa Shields' business ethics questions started circulating. Yet even as her name trended for all the wrong reasons, Claressa didn't falter. 2 days later, she posted a training clip of herself landing vicious combinations on the heavy bag, captioned, "Pressure creates diamonds." It was short, defiant, and instantly went viral. Fans flooded the comments with messages of support. "This is the Claressa we know," one fan wrote. "Let your fists do the talking." The storm was far from over, but her silence and focus spoke louder than any statement could. What no one knew, however, was that behind that confidence, Claressa was already preparing a counterattack, one that would shake not just the gossip world, but expose the truth about Tasha K in a way no one saw coming. The Queen of the Ring was ready to take the fight out of the gym and into the arena of reputation. And this time, she wasn't planning to pull any punches. The tension had reached a boiling point, and Claressa Shields had finally had enough. Weeks of whispers, interviews, and online attacks had pushed her patience to its limit. What started as gossip had turned into a full-blown campaign to tarnish her legacy. And she was determined to end it once and for all. Early one morning, without warning, Claressa's official team released a statement titled, "Setting the Record Straight." It wasn't long or emotionally, was calculated, precise, and backed with evidence. The statement included screenshots, signed contracts, and even time-stamped emails directly countering Tasha K's claims about the supposed sponsorship fallout. The documents showed that Claressa hadn't backed out of the deal at all. The company had failed to meet specific contractual obligations, and it was they who had breached the agreement. Claressa's team even attached a legal letter sent to the company months earlier, warning them of non-compliance. The media exploded. Suddenly, the narrative shifted. Journalists who had previously speculated about Claressa's arrogance began writing pieces questioning Tasha's credibility. If this documentation is accurate, one outlet reported, then Tasha K's allegations were not only misleading but potentially defamatory. The boxing community rallied behind Claressa. Fighters, coaches, and promoters began posting messages of support. "You can't knock down a champion that easy," one wrote. "Claressa's been fighting her whole life. This was just another round." But Claressa wasn't done. Hours later, she went live again, not angry this time, but composed. "You know," she began, her voice calm but sharp, "when you stand on truth, you don't have to yell. You just show proof. People wanted drama, Tasha wanted clicks, and I gave them silence until I was ready. Now y'all can see who was lying." She then addressed Tasha directly. "You made a career out of tearing people down. But you forgot one thing some of us fight back. The chat was flooded with thousands of comments. Fans cheering her resilience and praising her for standing tall in the face of falsehoods. In the days that followed, tables turned drastically. Tasha K faced backlash for her reporting. Legal experts debated whether Claressa had grounds for a defamation lawsuit, especially given the clear evidence she'd provided. Freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from consequences. One lawyer commented on a podcast, "If Tasha knowingly spread false information, Claressa could easily win a civil case." The discussion snowballed, and soon hashtags like #StandWithShields and #TashaExposed began trending. For once it wasn't Claressa under scrutiny, it was Tasha. Behind the scenes, Claressa's management team worked tirelessly to rebuild her image. They arranged interviews with credible sports networks, where she focused not on the drama but on her mission, inspiring young women and continuing to dominate the sport. "I've been fighting since I was a kid," she said in one of them, "fighting to be heard, to be seen, to be respected. And now I see some battles aren't in the ring, they're in life. But either way, I win." The statement resonated deeply. Her story wasn't just about boxing anymore. It had become a symbol of resilience in the face of public attack. Meanwhile, Tasha K's world began to crumble. Her credibility took another hit when several of her sources refused to stand by the claims they'd made. Some even issued public apologies, saying they'd exaggerated or shared rumors out of frustration. Tasha's subscribers started demanding explanations, accusing her of crossing the line. In a rare moment of vulnerability, she went live to defend herself. "I didn't make this up," she insisted. "People came to me. I believed them." But her tone lacked the sharpness that once defined her confidence. The damage was done. The internet had turned on her, and Claressa's supporters were louder than ever. Claressa, on the other hand, used the chaos to her advantage. She launched a new initiative called Truth in Strength, mentorship program for young athletes focusing on mental resilience, self-image, and media literacy. "The world's loud," she said during the launch event. "If you don't know who you are, it'll tell you who to be. And most times, it'll be wrong." Her words hit home for thousands who had followed her journey. What began as a scandal had evolved into a message of empowerment. She was no longer just defending her name. She was redefining it. The irony was clear. In trying to expose her, Tasha K had inadvertently made her stronger. Claressa's social media numbers soared, brand deals returned, and she began receiving messages from celebrities and athletes thanking her for showing what grace under fire looks like. Even those who once doubted her came forward to admit they'd been wrong. "I thought she was arrogant," one commentator confessed. "Now I realize she's just powerful and unapologetically so." Months later, Claressa stepped into the ring again, her first fight since the controversy. The crowd was electric, the arena filled with chants of her name. Her opponent was tough, fast, and skilled, but Claressa fought with a fire that came from more than just physical training. Every punch seemed to carry the weight of every headline, every rumor, every insult thrown her way. In the fifth round, she landed a clean right hook that sent her opponent to the canvas. The referee counted, and it was over. Claressa threw her hands up, her expression fierce and victorious. Cameras flashed, commentators screamed, and the crowd erupted. It wasn't just a win, it was redemption. After the match, she gave a short but unforgettable interview. "You can't expose what's real," she said into the mic. "You can only test it." And I passed. Those words went viral instantly. Every sports page, gossip site, and motivational account reposted them. Claressa Shields wasn't just back, she was bigger, wiser, and untouchable. As for Tasha K, she quietly moved on to other topics. Her influence diminished, but not gone. The internet is quick to forget, but Claressa never did. For her, the lesson was clear. Truth doesn't scream, it stands. And when the noise